Welcome back to the Benoit Motors podcast, and this is a very special edition. We're sitting here in the main man's home office. So, Jason, welcome back to the podcast. How's it feel?
Feels good. It doesn't feel like a podcast, but my screens are going and my phones are going. So I promise you I'll do more work than this normally.
Yeah, it's actually nice when you said, hey, let's do one and either go to the studio or do it here. I actually like this and not having the big podcast mics and all that and wearing lapels. But enough about the technical stuff. So this is a very important one. We got some news coming up about Benoit North.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, since this is for people who really don't know me and maybe not even know you,
a lot of people in North Louisiana don't know me, and that's the primary objective, is to speak to the people in our North Louisiana markets, our Farmerville, Jonesboro, Ruston area. Yeah,
absolutely. So a little bit about me: I'm Brady Cannon. I work at a church full time, and I'm also on this little media business. And then me and Jason, we've been friends since 1997. Woo!
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, just for y'all who don't know, Jason was a youth evangelist.
Crazy.
And so whenever I started going to church, he took me under his wing, taught me how to read the Bible, and we traveled around together for a little bit. And then you were in the car dealership all along after the church world, and then worked at some really great dealerships.
Locally, sure did. Worked at some good ones. Worked at Bill & Navarre, which was a great place. Even worked at Roundtree Dodge for Mr. Benoit for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Roundtree.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name forever.
Yeah. It's Mark Dodge now, of course, and they're a competitor because we have a Chrysler store down here. But no, I've had the privilege to work for a lot of great people.
Yeah, and then you had the opportunity, 2018, buy your own dealership. You had the Benoit Ford.
I did. I had worked for Mr. Stelly for 15 years to that point, and when he was kind of unpacking, I took a leap of faith in the Ford deal, and it worked out well for us. So,
that's right.
Within a few years, I think I told the story the other day to the chamber in North Louisiana. I think by 2019, by the end of 2019, we had the Ford dealership in DeRidder, the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership, and the Nissan dealership, and then we set still there for a while, and then we purchased an off-site location, the Wilmart brand in Leesville. That was our number one used car competitor. We purchased those guys. In 2000, I don't know, probably 20, Ford reached out to me about the Pruis store in Farmerville. Thought it was going to work out great because my brother at that time was living in Sterlington, which is only about 25 or 30 minutes from Farmerville. So what a great opportunity to enlist my brother as one of the owner partners, and attach that under the brand that, of course, is we're both Benoits, but the Benoit brand in the car business historically is something that I take pretty personal, which is the reason that I have had to step in North Louisiana. Because there was some clouded things going on that I did feel like I needed to address. So with that being said, Danny did a great job there from what the community tells me. It was a profitable business, and we were doing what the Benoits do, being the largest contributors in the area, taking care of the kids and the churches, and that's kind of what we've always done, being very, very successful. And so I just kind of, why not let your brother just do his thing, and so he's been doing his thing. Doing well at it. In the past 8 months, there's kind of been a few small concerns come up, and then of course here recently I was unaware of the social media opinions that were being shared on behalf of my brother. Growing up, wanted to be a senator. And he's very sharp, and he had the opportunity to do those things. But as a car dealer, that's really not what we do. Right. I'm not here to talk about whose opinions are right or wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't have a dog in that race.
Right.
We want to sell cars to every race, every ethnicity, every religion. I don't care who you are. I'm a Christian, but if you're a Muslim, I want your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I had to remove the companies from the positions that my brother had put them in North Louisiana, that had kind of gotten to the point where I felt like I was actually embarrassed. Some political officials in North Louisiana, just to feel that these things are being said. I feel like they probably think I'm saying them. because I'm the head of the organization.
Yeah, and as the head goes, the organization goes.
And so it was the toughest thing in the world. But yeah, Danny, that's what I'm here to introduce myself to this community, because I am my family is the Benoit family in the Benoit organization, and we have taken ownership of Farmerville personally, and that's why we're in my office today. I wanted to make sure the folks in Farmerville understand that we have 7 rooftops statewide. I don't have an office in any of them, not because I don't work, but those offices inside of dealerships are designed for general managers in those dealerships. And since our dealerships are so spread, I office here at home. I manage through Google Meets, and I visit showrooms once a week. So my family will be in Farmerville at least one day every week, taking meetings with anybody that needs to visit with us. Normally, there's an extension. If anybody in the company dials my extension, it rings, and this is normal business hours for Jace and Benoit. And so, want the people in North Louisiana to know that I'm here. I'm here to support you. We need to keep our tax dollars, in the parish.
Yeah.
And I say that with all of our dealerships. Regardless, of course, we're going to sell it if somebody wants to buy it from us that doesn't live in our parish. But we don't want to give people a guilt trip to say you need to keep your tax dollars or no. I want you to know that if somebody in my organization is treating you in a way, or they're not being competitive enough to make you want to feel good about doing business locally, I need to hear about it. Yeah. Because there's some things that need to be addressed, because the culture of our company needs to be directly in line with what the local constituents of that market feel and desire.
And I think that's being part of the organization since 2018, doing the videos and doing all the stuff with you guys and being friends with you and the other 2 minority partners in the business. The thing that set Benoit apart is the people. It's the relationship, because car deals come and go. Pretty much every dealerships give. Dealerships give the whatever the Ford gives or Chevy gives or the incentives or whatever. But it's the people that truly do, your people in the shop, that make a difference, and people buy from people. Sure. And so I think this is very important for the up north stores to actually see the back in the day deal with the dealer.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's how we made it. These guys don't realize now I got this nice fancy office, but Brady, you'll remember whenever I got an opportunity to get my first dealership, and it was the first day that I just knew that I walked away from a secure paycheck. Right. I took a room up in the attic of the Ford store, converted it to an apartment. Yep. I put a bed in there. There was no windows. Fast forward 4 years, that building burned down. I'm glad it didn't happen while I was up there, because it was a fire hazard and there was no escape route. Yeah. But I lived at the dealership at night, away from my family at that time. Worked as a sales manager and service manager all day, I felt like, and then a car dealer at night, and then dreamed about it. And the first month I was open, my father had retired from his job and came, and me and him cleaned the dealerships. We didn't have a cleaning crew. So, that's who we are. Right. Like, we're not this big fancy desk. It's nice to have this big fancy desk, but this isn't who we are. It's just kind of cool to have, but you don't get to keep it if you don't keep your grinding shoes on. Yeah.
And I think I say this in the production world, because whenever we go do these concerts or whatever, we're not the people who just stay in our lane. And someone asked me the other day, we were just filming a big Christian event in Beaumont, and they said, man, every crew member that you bring with you, they're willing to do anything. I said, because we're church people. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, when you work in the church world, which you did,
cut the grass,
one day you're preaching, and the next day you're cleaning bathrooms, you're cutting grass. And so you brought that whole work mentality of it doesn't matter whose job it is, got to get the job done. Whether it's mowing grass, cleaning the dealership, and then going to meet with somebody to deal with the dealer, you brought that into the dealership, which is why I believe it was successful.
It was.
It still is.
It was, and it's still successful now. Will I tell you that I have remained consistent with that? I'll put it to you this way, Brady. I've understood how corporate becomes corporate without one day waking up and saying, oh, I just don't want to be personal anymore. That doesn't happen, but you evolve and this thing gets bigger, and then you lose your personal touch and then you hear about problems that you couldn't have if you still had your personal touch on it, but there's really no great solution for it because, and so I am in a reinventing of myself phase. I've removed myself since the fire, which has been 13, 14 months ago.
Yeah.
I've removed, it's been about 14, 15 months. I've removed myself completely. Of course, I was insurance adjuster and legal counsel and everything because I didn't hire representation, but that took up a lot of time. And so everything was kind of straightforward and it worked. But between that and then the merger of Ford and the consolidation of the way the Hicksons and I worked our points with the Chrysler Jeep and the Ford, there was just so many things that have been happening over the past, 12 to 14 months that have not allowed me to be the car dealer that I was. And I was kind of okay with that because people that were in the car business knew we were due to have a tough year because of all of the PPP and all the stuff everybody knows about. It was a give back year. And so I felt like, okay, this is a year for me to make the adjustment. And we have definitely recreated some things. I'm excited about 25. Really have not had a clear vision for the forward motion of the company since the fire. Until several months ago when I started to see it and then start putting it together. I did not see this North Louisiana thing happening. I want to make sure these people here know, as I'm getting off cuff here, about my brother and my position with my brother, because there is people that still in North Louisiana, as I am asking my brother to stay off social media. He's doing that to respect me and my wishes. He understands. He got into some things that he should not gotten into. He's still my brother.
Yeah.
I still will take a bullet for him.
And we all say stuff all the time.
And he would too, because that's what brothers do. I am in the authority position as the CEO of the company that does require us to have some tough conversations.
Right.
But we make it through those tough conversations, and Danny's retirement and his pension is still directly affected by the performance of the dealerships that he owns equity in.
Right.
So we're not sitting here undercutting my brother, because I know there's a ton of people in North Louisiana that cheer him on in his corner, and hey, cheer him on, but let's don't put ourselves in a conflicting spot.
Yeah.
We're car dealers. It's not up to me who, it's going to be the judge and mayor and all of this kind of stuff. I own dealerships in several communities that I don't live in. My job is to support the leadership staff in that community that the constituents put in place.
Yeah.
I don't have a dog in that race.
Right.
And to me, that's business 101. To my brother and the family I grew up in, even though we weren't raised by wealthy business people, we were raised by a hard-working postman that umpired at night and everything else, that cut grass on the weekends, whatever he had to do to make sure we had a nice pair of Jabot jeans or whatever. But even my dad instilled that to us. To me, it's common sense 101 business practice. Danny's thoughts have been clouded, in my opinion, because if they weren't, he wouldn't have done the things that he did. And so, we did take the position to separate him from Farmerville. And I'm never going to say never about anything else.
Right.
But at this point, if you need a Benoit in Farmerville, it's me.
So when we're talking about the North store, we're talking about Farmerville, which is Ford and Chevy.
Farmerville has a GMC Chevrolet store.
GMC Chevy.
And they also have a Ford store. And then here recently in North Louisiana, if you drive Farmerville, it's about a 20-minute drive to get to Ruston. And from Ruston, it's another 25 minutes to get to Jonesboro, south. Jonesboro had a Ford dealership for sale that we just recently bought. We haven't made a lot of changes to it yet. We haven't.
You just put the name on it?
We put the banner across the front. I got Chief Dennis, the old chief of police in Rosepine. Dennis is up there with Lamar. It's just they're sitting there. I planned on, right now, I did not see this Farmerville cleanup happening. My efforts were probably about to be in this new launch.
Yeah.
But the Jonesboro deal, Jay Mallard is a great previous dealer. He was there for forever and a day. He's still a consultant for me. He still stops at the dealership every day and calls me if there's some issues I need to know about. So I kind of have Mr. J babysitting that store. It wasn't a bleeding store, so it's not like it's causing problems. I'm just postponing the launch, if you will.
Gotcha. And
putting all of my focus on stabilizing the Union Parish market, stabilizing the relationships with the people in the parish, and making sure that, you know, we are the only automobile sales and service facility in Union Parish, which is the largest or second largest parish by land mass.
Okay. All right.
So if you live in Farmerville or anywhere in Union Parish towards the center, and you choose to not do business with Benoit, then we must have done something to really make you mad. Because you kind of got to take the day off, Brady, to go somewhere else.
You got to drive really far.
You got to drive. And so it should be the easiest local partnership that we would ever have, because there is no competition.
Right.
And it hadn't been that easy. So we're going to get up there and do the right thing, and it's going to be that easy.
So are we still doing deal with the dealer?
We do. We do. And God, I'm excited about the boys coming on board and helping me, because it did get tough. And so I started having to designate that to people, but I still did review them. And let's tell them right now, if you go to any Benoit Facebook page, or you go to any one of our websites, you click a link that says deal with the dealer or speak to Mr. Benoit. It doesn't matter. I can vividly remember I don't do this anymore. I'm not as good of a human as I used to be, but I remember like in 2019, I was at Disney World at Epcot.
Right, I remember that.
You know, and I'm talking to people because that was my livelihood, and that's what I had to do. Now it's probably like if I'm at Disney World, somebody's taking it that week.
Yeah.
So am I going to tell you that every time you click on that link, you get me? I will tell you that every time you click on that link, I hear what you got to say.
Right.
And if somebody don't fix it for you in my place, it gets to me.
And that's if you have
service problem. Hey,
anything.
You're on the internet talking in your podcast about how you want everybody to do business local, but somebody in Ruston will sell it to me for $1,500 less. What do you want me to do? Don't buy it in Ruston. Click speak to Mr. Benoit. I'll make it right. I promise.
Yes, and I've known you for so long that I think what makes people angry is if you don't call at all.
That's what upsets me.
Like, just call.
Yeah.
Just call. Let's talk it out.
That's a long story between me and Brady and his dad. That's a story for another day.
But I think it's a cowboy thing, because being a cowboy guy, when I think Farmerville, I think rodeo.
Sure.
I grew up rodeoing all up there. Jonesboro, I won some buckles there. Farmerville, won some buckles. But so being a rodeo guy, it's like you never want to. I'm saying this because I think people need to hear this. As a rodeo cowboy, you don't want to bug people.
Yeah.
And so that's where it comes from.
And your daddy taught you to respect a man's time.
Exactly.
I understand that.
And so, but what we're saying here is before you go somewhere else, you're not bugging.
You're not bugging,
please. Make a phone call.
Because let's tell you, if your little Johnny, whether that be your grandson or anybody, ever needs anything for 4-H, for the ball teams, for anything, the first question the dealership's going to ask you is, did you buy from us?
Mm-hmm. No, we didn't. And then you're like,
go to that other guy and ask him for money. And I don't.
And
is that ugly? Is that, man? At the end of the day, it's business.
It's business.
It's business. But even when times are tough, because sometimes I can give $100,000 away to the hospital. That was a big deal. Sometimes it's tough, and if Johnny asks for a donation, maybe he asks for $1,000, and I only give him $300. But I've never said no to someone that bought cars from us.
Right. Absolutely, I know that.
I've never done it. So
that whole get in the community, deal with the dealer, all that's Benoit North. Benoit North is not different from Benoit DeRitter.
Absolutely
Leesville,
not. Absolutely not.
Lake Charles. So the Benoit brand is going to be consistent everywhere. Benoit's
and it wasn't for the past several years, and I never actually needed it to be or wanted it to be.
Yeah.
North Louisiana was supposed to be Danny's project.
Yes.
This was a forced hand type situation for me, and we are fortunate to have the structural capability to handle this without it being a problem.
Yeah.
I have currently leased Danny's home. While he is about to put it on the market to sell it, but I have leased it for staff bunk housing, if you will, and we are using employees from our other stores 1 week on at a time to make sure that I don't put anybody up there that doesn't understand my heart and what I want done. Because while Danny and I are very similar, probably in the customer satisfaction angle of things, we definitely our style of doing business is pretty night and day. And I don't think our character is, but I think the way we would operate a store. Yeah. So don't really want to rush and hire a bunch of people from up there until I have a process in place and people to train them. And my team has been just fabulous. To say, boss, I'll get up there for 2 weeks if you need me to.
Gotcha.
And so that's what we got going on.
All right, so I think it's time. You want to go ahead and introduce?
Let's get Jason here. Yeah, let's get Jason here.
All right, you ready for him?
Yep.
All right, come on in, Jace. Ladies and gentlemen, Jace Benoit.
J Bills.
J Bills in the house.
Now he's like J Bills 2.0. I think Jordan started that one, didn't he?
Did J Bills start?
Oh, that's Jordan. Yeah, Jordan started that.
Yeah. I remember playing basketball as J Bills whenever Jordan was playing. So Jace Benoit's here. This is the youngest son of Mr. Benoit here, and so tell us a little bit about you. What you been up to lately?
Oh, lately I've just been getting ready to study for the bar, taking it this February, so just in a few weeks here. After I get done with that, it'll just be full-time family business, spending a lot of time in North Louisiana, spending a lot of time in the stores in DeRidder, trying to get to know the business. My father's probably let you know, but I'm still really unfamiliar with the way that the business works in terms of just the automotive side. I'm more of a numbers guy, so it's just sort of having to marry those two parts of my brain, and eventually I'll get there.
Sure.
Yeah, so LSU Law School. How old are you, though?
I'm 24. I turned 24 last week.
Last week you turned 24,
so
like 3 days ago.
I'm no longer a forced
That's
heir.
really young to graduate LSU Law School, but you're brilliant. I've been knowing you forever. You're brilliant, even though back when we used to teach karate, you used to get really angry at times.
Yeah.
I used to call you Brock Lesnar. You remember that?
I remember that. And Brady meets someone whose face gets redder than his, and he'll never let that go.
That's right. That's right. So, Jason, what's some questions or stuff you want to let people know about?
Man, I just want people to see his good-looking head because, yes, he is going to Dealer Academy right now. He is someone that I plan to work through as time allows, and we see how that works. But he is my family, and he's an extension of me, and I want people to understand I have car people. You don't have to be my family to be a car person. We have car people in those stores up there that will not only continue to do what has been done, but it will improve exponentially with the talented people that we're putting in place. What a community needs, I do not want to be corporate. I don't want people in Union Parish to think, oh, we're corporate and everything that we do here goes to Lake Charles or goes to here or goes to there. We do business in DeRidder. I live in Lake Charles. But we keep our contributions in line with the stores that create the revenue, okay? And so, that's why Danny was always able to be such a heavy contributor up there. None of that is going to change. The prosperity that comes from those stores will continue to stay in that community, and those decisions are made by my family, which in this particular moment in time, it will be myself up there representing the family, or it will be Jace. You'll meet Jordan in a minute. He will probably not be there much, but I do want people to recognize him in case he does need to pay a visit. But he has a different task that he operates, and so he shouldn't be up there much. But me or Jace will be there every week to visit and have lunch with the right people and be available to take meetings all day from customers or anyone that just wants to meet with a Benoit. That you're going to have one day out of 5, and from what I gather, that's more than we've had over the last 8 months. In the locations up there. So at this moment in time, what we will provide is consistency. And he's very capable of having a conversation, understanding his position, knowing what he doesn't know, and knowing when it's time to get Dad on the phone. Let's put it on speaker, and then let's have a growing experience together. And I just can't be that way with everybody, but I'm excited to be able to work close to my son like that.
And Jace is a man of character. He's a man of integrity, and so he doesn't always have to call Dad. He's got some knowledge. He will for sure got some knowledge because you're a fast learner. What's an interesting fact that you like the people up in Farmerville, North Louisiana, to know about you?
One thing I'd like to share with all the people up in Farmerville because they haven't gotten to know me well enough yet. So I'll just go ahead and disclaim. I know what I don't know. I'm not an ignorant person, but I know when I'm ignorant toward an issue. I like to be respectful toward people. I think it was C.S. Lewis or someone, maybe Tolkien, said, "You'll never meet a person who knows nothing." So, and a lot of times I have to, especially dealing with family and friends, I have to remind myself that, and maybe even look in the mirror and remind myself that sometimes. But I'll know when to pick up the phone, like you said, call my dad, defer an issue to someone who has more authority on it. But I also know when to step up to the plate and when to use my own mouthpiece.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good. Well said, son.
And something else about Jace, that if you really want to win, I like to know people so I can win their heart. That may mean manipulation of some, but I call it leadership. If you want to win Jace's heart,
He's a movie buff.
he's a movie buff.
He's a
so
movie
just
buff.
talk about movies. Anytime I want to talk about movies with somebody, Jace is the guy I want to talk to. So if you want to win his heart, go into the office and be like, "Hey, let's talk about some random movie."
Some 1957 film, and he'll know all about it.
Exactly. Some film noir.
Yeah.
The French movies. Do you watch foreign movies?
Oh yeah, Breathless. Yeah, I watched some Godard. Yeah, Jean-Luc Godard. Yeah.
Yeah, is he speaking in tongues?
I don't know.
I don't know how this works.
Well, we
Did
just
you
cut
watch the
this
new,
part.
what's the Nostario?
Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Jordan and I, when you came and got me just now, we were talking about that in the kitchen. Yeah, it was all right.
We know their dad's busy working and generating income so that they can
Watch movies.
watch movies.
There you go, yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. So, good stuff going up north. So, what dealership is Jace going to spend the most time in?
That's to be decided, Brady.
Okay.
My original plan was nothing other than this. I wanted Jace to work hard to earn his stripes. Of course, he's done that from an education standpoint. I didn't work as hard as I don't work that hard anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and I really didn't want him to shadow me. When Jared and I recently did our deal, I was gonna kind of hired Jared Fark to do my old job in the DeRidder-Leesville locations, and Jared's doing it. He's doing it. He's going at it. He's of course, I'm tell Jared, the new broom sweeps well. We all take turns. Right now, he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that Jason and Jared will make a great team because Jared's a great car man. He's a great person. He's a great community liaison in that area. And Jace is an attorney / accountant / going to dealer school. So there's some things that I feel like Jace will bring to the table that Jared and I didn't have. Like we're all, I don't know about Jared, but I'm a high school, we just all just figured it out, and we need a numbers guy. Heck, my controller, Deborah, that's the job that he's going to be the CFO of the organization, which is kind of what Deborah is, but she was never formally trained to be it, so she's kind of figured it out over time.
Gotcha.
So Jace, he will jump around the dealership and make sure he sits in every seat at some point in time, because that's the most effective way to be a leader.
Right.
But at first, because of the Farmerville situation, he's probably going to be getting on our little piston aircraft in the morning a couple days a week and working in Farmerville and then coming home. And,
Nice.
that's going to be something that he's going to have to do, because the people in Union Parish need to understand that I'm here. I mean business. I'm not a smoke and mirrors type guy.
Right.
We're going to fix problems. We're going to address them head on, and we're going to make sure that we don't have to beg for your business, because we're going to do such a great job. When you walk on our property in Farmerville, you'll be so excited to be able to have a big city pricing. What do we say? We say small town values, big city deals. That's kind of was our deal. But that's a real mission statement. Right. We want Farmerville to be Farmerville. That's a culture. The culture in Farmerville is different than the culture in DeRidder, which is different than the culture in Lake Charles. Right. Even though we're all kind of in the same state, and we probably, we all have similar values, the culture and how people want to behave is a little bit different. Yeah. And so we need to integrate in that community a version of ourselves, so that we can provide the level of experience that they feel comfortable with.
Yeah, for sure.
But what you need to understand is we're going to do that, but we're going to do that with resources that come from all over the state. You can go to your Farmerville websites and look at our inventory, or you can go to bobbenoit.com and look at all 1,000 of our vehicles.
Yeah.
And within 24 hours, any of them can be remotely delivered to your driveway in Union Parish without you ever having to go anywhere, and it could be maintenance to where you sit.
Wow.
So these are things that we don't just, I'm not trying to toot our horns, but the car business is coming to Union Parish now.
You know what else is coming to Union Parish? some golf teams, right? We're gonna get some golf tournaments up there.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, Squire Creek's up there, not too far away.
I've never played.
I never have either. Farmerville has a little country club that doesn't look bad. It's right across the street from the airport, but I've never played it.
So hey, if you're watching and you got a charity golf tournament coming up, let Jace know.
Yeah.
We'll put a team together.
Jace is a swinger.
Yeah.
Jace is a swinger. He's a little southpaw. He's a
Used
swinger.
to be.
So.
Well, Benoit, I played in 2 tournaments with Benoit. We won one and did not win the other. So we're 50-50 right now. So we'll get there.
50-50 at home plate gets you in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Oh,
Actually, 287.
3 out of 10, baby. 3 out of 10, unless you Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, Brady, I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate the people and extending some grace.
Yeah.
And they already have. I mean, we've resolved. I hate to even talk about the past because it's heck. The other day after we met the folks at the local chamber, heck, that day. Union Parish Sheriff's Department that afternoon bought 2 vehicles from us. I mean, it was really quick to smooth things over.
Right.
Again, Danny got emotional. I think some people got in his ear, maybe, is the common consensus. I love my brother. He's been my brother for 50 years, 47, because that's how old I am. He's my big brother. And this was out of character. It wasn't easy to address it, but I believe that we deserve an opportunity to earn your business because we're local, and we're going to keep your tax dollars local, and we're going to keep our contributions from your business local to take care of your people and your schools and your recreational events, your churches, and that's what we do. Of course, we can only do that based upon our level of prosperity.
Yeah.
And we can't be prosperous without people giving us an opportunity at least to earn their business. So
today, I never like to time date videos, but I feel like I need to for this one. Today's January 25th.
yes,
So when is Jace going to be kicking it off?
we already have.
Already have.
We have Jace. I'm not going to disturb until after he takes the bar on February the 17th.
Okay.
But Monday morning, Mandy and I will be getting on our little bird right here at Lake Charles Airport, and we'll land in Farmerville at 9 in the morning, and we'll do business in that store for the day, and that afternoon we'll come home. May go back later on during the week. But I do have 3 full-time company staff members from down here that are currently up there. So when you can go to that store any day and you can have a conversation with somebody that is going to represent me well now.
Okay.
I can tell you that Anthony Gray is currently the interim general manager up there. He and his wife Jennifer, who have been car dealers in the past, like Anthony and Jennifer Gray owned Gray Ford and Gray Nissan and DeRitter, which is the 2 stores that I owned. They were 2 owners prior to me, but their family, he was raised there. His father built the store, so they're experienced dealers, and they know my wife and I. So they put the 2 together. It's a good recipe. You know, because
who else you got up there?
Well, so you got Anthony and Jennifer up there. He's the general manager. I got Lamar in Jonesboro, just kind of stepping into the sales manager's position there. Mr. Jay Mallard had a very tenured, seasoned general sales manager there, and they retired together.
Okay.
So when we bought the store, they both left. So we've replaced him currently with Lamar. Chad Hamilton is on shift in Farmerville for the next 2 weeks.
That's the Ford dealership?
Which is, he's going to be based out of the General Motors store, which is where we do most of our things in Farmerville. Prime example, we're going to try to consolidate most of our service efforts in Farmerville so that we could focus on a great customer experience.
Okay.
And we're going to focus one store at a time. The old Pruitt building in downtown really doesn't have the structure for us to provide a very excellent experience. Now, state law says that if we're going to sell you a new Ford, we have to sell it over there. We can't sell that at the Chevy store. That's illegal, right? So, and of course, we abide by that kind of stuff. Warranty work, for example, if you have a Ford and there's a warranty repair or a recall that needs to be done, that needs to be done on the Ford location because that's our franchise agreement, right? But we're going to, over the next couple of months, I'm going to be working to consolidate those 2 service operations. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to build where the GM location is where 80% of our business is going to be had. Okay. It's where our pre-owned, our new Chevy GMC, all makes, all models, service and parts. Even Ford service and parts that's no longer warranty repairs. Okay, so we're going to focus on building one great dynamic dealership right there where the GM store is right now. Okay, and then the property that I own next door is future development, and I'm never going to make a commitment, because when I commit to something, y'all going to figure it out. It's going to happen, whether it's the good commitment or a bad commitment. If the Ford dealership were to remain in Farmerville 5 years from now, that dealership would have to be built right next to the GM store, and then the service drives would be consolidated.
Right.
So I'm just kind of getting in front of that, because I feel like I want the best technicians, I want the best quality control people, I want the best service employees, the best parts employees. I want our leadership in one house where most of the activity can be in that one house, so that we can provide an excellent environment. Then, you know what? 6-8 months down the road, I feel like I missed the boat. We should duplicate this at the Ford store down the road. Well, okay, it's easier to duplicate something after you got it right.
Right, absolutely.
So that's my position right now with what's going to happen in Farmerville.
Well, so if you're up there, up north, come see Jace after February 17th. Come see Jason and Mandy. They'll be up there. Anthony Gray's up there. And then...
and if you need to get a message to us, go to the website and click Speak to Mr. Benoit. Get the message to us. We're going to get it, and we're going to talk to you the same day. Because we do in South Louisiana, that hotline has evolved into something that a lot of different people help me with. No one in North Louisiana is going to handle that other than me or Jace for a while, because we want to know everything. I got to know everything. I got to figure out every crack. And you can't do that while you're subletting responsibility. So at this moment in time, if you call me, I'll be sitting right here when I call you back. But I have a camera on this screen, all the dealerships in the state. I kind of have built a little zone here where you made me take my stuff down, but I stay set up for Google Meets, face-to-face meetings with managers and stuff. We have created this office to where it doesn't seem like I'm that far away.
It's like the situation room. That's what it is. It says it on my door.
So they won't let me put it. I wanted to put "It Takes Grinding to Be the King," Mike Jones, but they wouldn't let me do it. Mandy said it doesn't fit in the new fancy house.
He gets the desk, but she gets the executive orders.
There you go. All right, she's really right. She's the deep state.
Yeah,
she's right.
Yeah, y'all keep smoking her eardrums.
Well, that's it for this episode. I'm sure you'll hear from us again. Hopefully, we can do one in the dealership.
We will. We will.
Next time.
We wanted to go, and then the ice snow thing messed us up. Right. But I think it's important to get this out, so I had Brady come over today to get it so that we can have this pumping before he leaves town this next week. He's going to film the Super Bowl or something like that.
2 weeks in New Orleans. Fun.
Wow.
Wear a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, I need something. Yeah. All right, sounds good. Well, we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, guys. Have a good day.